In this video, I'm going to show you how you can view the Google rankings of all of your website's target keywords with the latest available Search Console data, automatically and completely free in Quadratic. If you work in SEO, then you know how expensive it can be to track keyword positions with tools like SEMrush and Ahrefs. And you also know how difficult it can be to create interesting charts for your clients or your team without a ton of manual data cleaning and other spreadsheet work. Well, by the end of this video, you'll have a fully customizable and powerful dashboard to get SEO insights from daily. Let's jump into it. The first step in any data analysis exercise is actually collecting the right data and putting it where you need it. So to illustrate how we're going to get data on our keywords over time from the blog posts that we publish on our website, I'm going to show you this very rudimentary high-level architecture diagram of where our data comes from and how it gets into Quadratic. To start, your data is with Google Search Console. We've set up our domain property in Google Search Console so that Google is tracking all of the visitors and traffic on our website, as well as the positions of the keywords that rank on the blog posts that we're publishing there. So what you're going to do is set up the Google Search Console API within Google Cloud Platform, so GCP. That's where your keyword data is. And unfortunately, since there's a bit of authentication needed to connect directly to your API with Google Search Console, we're not able to connect Quadratic right to Google Search Console. There has to be a bit of a workaround. So what we're going to do instead is connect the Google Search Console API from GCP via a Cloud SQL instance to a Postgres database. And I was lucky enough to have a developer set this up for me. This is going to be the one hard step in really tracking your keyword metrics over time. Luckily, Quadratic does have a native connection to databases like Postgres and MySQL. So once you're able to establish the flow of data from Google Search Console to Postgres and have that data update daily in your database, then you can get all of that recent data we need into Quadratic with simple SQL queries. Don't worry if you're non-technical like me, because you can have AI write that SQL for you. For now, let's move on to the last step of this flowchart, which you'll take care of in Quadratic. Okay, so you've set up your daily ingest of data from Google Search Console via the API to a Postgres database. That's the most difficult part. I will share some links in the description if you need help setting that up. From there, you can go ahead and connect Quadratic to the database. So we're going to go to the dashboard here and essentially just fill out the credentials that you've gotten from Postgres. And the best part is once this is set up, you do not need to continue setting up this connection. It'll be available. Then you're able to write SQL directly in your spreadsheet and pull out that data from Google Search Console with no extra setup needed. So you'll walk through this dialog here, the connection name, add the host name, database name, username and password, port number. And if you have an SSH, you can do that as well. Test it, create it, and you're good to go. Let's jump over to a spreadsheet where I'll show you how we at Quadratic track our keywords that get onto the pages that we publish on our website over time and see the success metrics of those keywords as they continue to rank better and better on Google search results. Okay, let's zoom out for a second. If you're big into SEO like I am, then you know that the best driver of organic growth is through content creation. Content is still king. But great content doesn't just come from thin air. You have to plan out the blog posts and other pages that you want to create for your website in order to cluster up juicy SEO content that you're going to create for the relevant niche that you're trying to position your product or other business into. This is a sample of the type of content calendar we use at Quadratic. It's a simple list of the various topics we want to write blog posts around, along with the primary focus or seed keyword we're targeting with each post, so that we can stay organized with multiple writers. Pretty simple stuff. Once I want to assign a new blog post or write one myself, I'll begin the initial keyword research process that identifies not just the seed keyword, which I've already found, but the supporting and semantic keywords that are relevant to that topic. So as an example, we see that we have one blog post that's still in progress on Math AI. We've already got the title and the description outlined for this blog post, but we need to go do our keyword research. Let's go over to SEMrush and we'll find some keywords that are relevant to this topic. I'll start by just typing in the seed keyword here, and I'll create a new list called Math AI. And I'll go ahead and add some relevant keywords that fit into this niche topic. I'm sure as an SEO, you've done this before. You're really just trying to find the high intent keywords that people are searching that make sense to go over to your blog post to read more about it. So once we've got our list of keywords, we'll head over to the keyword strategy builder. We'll update the metrics if necessary, and then we'll export this as a CSV. Now we'll go back over to our content calendar, and I've set up a template tab here that allows us to track our keywords more easily, and I'll explain how it works to you. So first, let's just duplicate this. We'll go to our Finder here and drag and drop the CSV in. Looks like it's a little bit too big. So I've made this data dump tab here to drop it in more easily. This way we can clean up our data before we put it into a structured list. So I'll go ahead and delete the columns that we don't need, make sure it's sorted by volume, and then I'll just copy the data that I want. I'll go over to my new tab for Math AI, paste this in here, rename it, And I like to do a little bit of coloring. So I know that math AI is my seed keyword. So I'll color that here in green, and I'll also add an S here. And I'll explain why I put this S here, but it helps us to track what our seed keywords are, as I'd like to do a bit more analysis on the seed keyword for each post and see how that performs in comparison to our regular supporting and strong supporting keywords. I'll go ahead and color some of these strong supporting just to help the writer know that these keywords might be more important to get onto the page based on, the lower difficulty to rank for that keyword or higher volume, whatever it might be. Now, as my writer is going through and completing their blog post, they'll try to get these keywords onto the page, typical on-page SEO strategy. And as they get the keywords on the page, they'll put a Y in this column that just tracks that they've got the keyword on the page. So I'll just fill out a few random ones here. And you can see that I have a Python cell set up here in Quadratic that tracks the keywords that actually made it onto the page. And so we can use this as a list to remind us what keywords made it onto the page. And those are ones that we might expect to do better in organic search rankings on Google search over time. So now that we've got these cells set up to track our keywords, this Python cell is just listing out this list in a comma separated format. Let me show you why we're doing that. So if you go over to back to the content calendar, now that this blog post has been written and published, we're going to do the keyword tracking so we can see the success of the keywords we got onto the page over time. Now, we'll add in the name of the tag that contains the keywords for this post right here. We'll add in the URL once it's live. This is just so I can go back in the future and maybe check out keywords that haven't been performing as well as I might have liked them to. So I can go back to the page and add some updates, maybe add a new section around a keyword that isn't performing as well so it can do better. On-page optimization over time. It's just helpful to have a sort of a guide. So this content calendar acts not just as a way to map out the content that I want to create, but also content that I want to improve in the future, as well as some tracking here. So we have a Python cell set up in columns J and K, and this is taking a look at the name of the tab here, and then it's searching within that tab the keywords that we got into the page. So this is where the S comes in that we put next to that seed keyword. If I go ahead and select this and drag these down to the next cell, then the Python cell will update to the next row, and you can see my seed keyword here. And these are all the keywords that I was able to get onto the blog post that I denoted with a Y in column E here. Cool. So let's go to the next step and see how we can leverage our Search Console data to look up these keywords that we have gotten onto the page and how they've performed in terms of organic position ranking on Google search over time. All right, let's tie it all together. So now we're in our keyword tracking tab here in our spreadsheet, and I have this Python cell set up here that is simply looking up all of the seed keywords in our content calendar tab. You can see it's referencing column J here. So when we add a new blog post, it's going to add in the seed keyword of that blog post, really just matching the list from the other tab. And then we have our Postgres database here that we've set up from our Google Search Console API into the Postgres database that is connected directly to Quadratic. If you open up, press / here, and you can see our various database connections for my team here in Quadratic. So we've got that all set up, and we are querying with SQL the list of keywords from our Python table here and showing the average position of those keywords over the last 60 days. And so we're able to get all of this great information that we can then set up a chart with here in a second. But first, I want to also pull the various supporting and semantic keywords that I researched earlier. So let me first show you a better way that we can track this. With our Postgres SQL syntax here, unfortunately in Quadratic, we're not able to reference an entire table. And so what we need to do is fill out a list of parameterized queries in single cell format. But there is an easier way. Let's try to open up our AI chat here and ask Quadratic to list all the keywords from the other tab in column K for the supporting keywords and put them in comma separated format in a single cell without tracking row 1, which is the header row. So what this is going to do is create a single cell that contains all of our keywords. We won't be able to read them nicely, but that's what the other tab is for. So you can see what it's doing is pulling all of the keywords there, and I don't have single quotes around that. I believe that put single quotes around each keyword is essential for the SQL to be able to reference this cell correctly and essentially take a look at all of the keywords that we rank for from a domain perspective and filter them down by the specific keywords that we have in this cell, which are the ones that we are actually interested in for this exercise. So it looks like Quadratic AI was able to update that Python syntax for me pretty quickly, which is awesome. So now I'm going to open up a new Python cell, select the database that we've set up previously, and you can see all of our schemas here. But the one that we are most interested in today for this is our scheduled search console metrics table. So I'm going to query this and say, reference the keywords in G1 and show position for each keyword over the past 60 days. And now Quadratic is going to write the SQL syntax that will show the position of each keyword listed here for the past 60 days. And it looks like we've had a little bit of an issue, but let's see if it can resolve it automatically. All right, it looks like we're having some issues with the AI understanding exactly what we're trying to do here. So I'm going to go ahead and reject this. I'll delete the code cell, and let me just get the code from this query here, open up a new cell, and run it. And now what I'll do is I'll go into the code chat and ask to update the SQL to reference all the keywords from G1 instead. A little bit of an issue, but I think it will resolve it. Great. Okay, so now that we've got our keywords set up here, you can see the average position of each keyword for the past, what do we have here? 60 days. And since our AI math keyword has just gone live, it looks like we only have data for since June 7th. That was the day that this blog post went live. Let's just clean up our data here a little bit. Awesome. So we have over 1,000 rows of data for all of these keywords that we've gotten onto our blog posts. All right, so we've got our real data coming from our Postgres database, which is fueled by the Google Search Console API on the keywords that we've gotten onto pages in our blog. Now, this data is a bit flat. Let's see exactly what it means with some fun charts. I'm going to create a new tab here, and we'll just call this dashboard. I'll start a new AI chat and ask, visualize the position of my supporting keywords from the keyword tracking tab over the past 60 days. Now, I didn't specify which Postgres database to look at. I probably could have been a little bit more specific to the AI chat, but let's see if it figures it out. All right, cool. Yeah, it said that it's referencing the Postgres 3 table. So let me check that. Yeah, that looks like our seed keyword table. But wow, what a cool chart. I can go ahead and increase the size of this. And you could see, these lines start typically a day or two after the blog post is live, once Google Search Console starts indexing that blog post and finding the keywords that we're ranking for. But you could see Math AI was a keyword that, if we look at the keyword research for that specific page, has over 90,000 search volume per month just in the USA. And within a couple days of posting it, we were already ranking at around position 7 on average for that keyword, which is really awesome. Good sign of our SEO working from creating a lot of different blog posts over time around this specific niche. Let's create another table. All right, so a little bit more of an advanced ask here. I'm trying to identify which SERP we rank for with the blog posts that we have on our site on average for each page. So search engine results page is what SERP means, and it looks like it's aggregating I can check the code here. It's plotting each keyword's position into a group of 1 through 10, meaning SERP 1 and so on. And we could see that SERP 6 plus Obviously, we have the most keywords ranking for. Typically, when you push a new blog post live, you'll have a lot of long tail keywords that might rank at much deeper in Google's search engine results pages, but we do have a couple keywords that are ranking in SERP 1, which is phenomenal. The best part about setting up all of this keyword tracking within Quadratic, beyond it being a completely free solution where you don't have to pay for extra keyword tracking in SEMrush, is that these charts and the tables will update automatically as you add new blog posts to your content calendar. So let me close out these AI chats and I'll show you an example. Say we published a new blog post. I'll just put in the keywords for our homepage. So, let's try our brand name. We're adding this as the seed keyword and the supporting keyword as if this were a new blog post, for example. Now I'll go over to my keyword tracking. You can see that the Python cell already noticed we added a new entry, so it's added it here. My Postgres SQL database is referencing that extra cell there, so it was able to see this keyword as well. And we should see our dashboard already updated with the keyword with Quadratic ranking at position 2 or 3. You can also see that we added another keyword to the count of number of keywords ranking in SERP 1 from the blog post keywords that we have tracked. So now with this knowledge, you know how to go about your daily workflow of content creation as an SEO or marketing person and track those keywords without additional manual work and for free. So if you want to be able to track your keywords easier as you go along with that keyword research that you're already doing and be able to get these cool charts that you can share with your team whenever you want to go and check and send them over to Slack, check out the template we have in the description of the video and make it your own. Hope you enjoyed this information and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks.